Hi, this is Trepacer. Welcome to Trepacer's Saturday review, horror reviews. I'm sorry. Tried to do this, like I said, in my bed. Normally, I do it standing up over there, or sitting down rather over there. But I'm in a kind of a rush today. I have to get up early. I am up early, and I have to try to upload 2 videos. So I'm doing this early. And because later I'm not going to be here, so that's why I'm doing this now. Uh, for this horror review, I went back to the Vincent Price collection, this time in this version, and the very first movie on this thing is called, it's 1961's The Pit and the Pendulum. This was, of course, a series of Edgar Allan Poe tales that Roger Corman, directed, okay, and produced, okay, starring, Vincent Price starred in a lot of them. I think the majority of them he starred in, and 1961's The Pit and the Pendulum is one of my favorites, and it was good to revisit it last night. And basically, the story uh, takes place in Spain, where the character named Francis Bernard, played by John Kerr, actor John Kerr, he travels to Spain when he hears his sister Elizabeth has died, and her husband Nicholas Medina, played by Vincent Price, uh, who is the son of one of the most brutal torturers in the Spanish Inquisition. Okay, and he tells her, he comes to the castle at first. When he gets there, the servant doesn't really want to let him in until he kind of insisted, and then the sister of Nicholas Medina, Catherine, tells him, let him in, tells the servant, let him in, and he tells her, he talks to the sister and tells, said, listen, I got this note that my sister died, and I'm here to, to visit, to find out exactly what. The letter was kind of vague. I'm trying to find out exactly what occurred. And at first, the sister says, "Listen, my brother loved your sister, and he's taking her death hard. Okay." And at first, he said he's resting, and you can't be disturbed. You can see him in a few hours. But of course, he hears some loud noise, and they go downstairs to basically the chamber where Nicholas Medina's father, you know, did these this torture, basically torture chamber, and they see Nicholas coming out of that, and he gets introduced to, saying he's the brother, and you can tell that he's been through a lot, and yeah, he basically tells his brother, listen, I loved your sister like no other, and she died of a kind of a blood disease, and would you stay if stay the night, of course, and we'll let you know that it's been a tradition in our family to intern our loved ones, in the basement, and we'll let you visit her, you know, let you visit her in a few hours, let you visit where she's interned, okay? But of course, Francis is not convinced about how his sister died of a blood disease. He said it doesn't make sense. And of course, later, a doctor, family doctor, Dr. Charles Leon, he comes by, and that's when it kind of comes out that how she really died. She died of a fright of they said she really died of severe fatal shock. Okay, that's how she died. And of course, Francis wants to know, exactly what happened. So Nicholas uh, tells him, it was, about the story about how they were first initially happy, but then, she started not being able to sleep and seemingly haunted, and how, he on the day, even the day that he was going to leave the castle with her, they found her in the torture chamber. Okay, yeah, basically died. She died that way. Just severe shock. She became obsessed with the instruments of his father's torture. Okay, and she became obsessed with it. She couldn't sleep, and basically she died of shock. And the doctor kind of confirms that and says, "Listen, Nicholas has had it hard." He explains to the brother, and listen, he's had it hard, and he's really suffering, and he loved her, but he says he's also suffering from this delusion. Uh, Nicholas says that his wife, maybe she wasn't dead when she, when she was really dead when when I declared her dead, and that she got uh, basically buried alive. Well, not buried alive, well, interred alive. Yeah, and that's what he thinks. But the doctor assures, the brother, no, I checked her. I'm a doctor, and I stuck my reputation on it. She died that way. She was dead when I declared her dead. Okay, she didn't die, but Nicholas is just suffering, and this is just his mind's way of is just rambling and speculating. Okay, and then of course Francis is still suspicious, and because they start hearing the harpsichord, which his sister loved to play. They start hearing these strange noises. The room, his sister's room gets trashed, and Francis discovers that there's a secret passageway that goes from Nicholas's room into his wife's room, and then he kind of accuses Nicholas of maybe he was the one that frightened his sister, scared her to death, and gave her that fatal heart attack. Of course, the doctor says no, Nicholas just loved her, and he wouldn't do that. And the sister says also, listen, I wasn't here for most of the time, but I assure you, Nicholas was devoted to her. And then she basically breaks down and tells him, listen, I know you're suspicious of Nicholas, but listen, Nicholas suffered a trauma when he was a kid. Okay, basically he found out he was forbidden to travel down into the torture chamber where his father operated during the Spanish Inquisition. His father forbid him to go down there ever, but of course, being a kid, he was curious and he went down there, and that's what he saw. His father, his uncle, and his mother, you know, his father giving his uncle and his wife a tour of the torture chamber, and that's where Nicholas witnessed his father basically murdering his brother, accusing him of adultery with his wife, and basically Nicholas then turned his attention to his mother and basically buried her alive. He entombed her alive behind this brick wall, and that's of course ever since then he said Nicholas has been obsessed, and it's haunted him all this time. So Nicholas is not. She said Nicholas. So see, Nicholas would never, you know, harm his wife. He loved. Okay, and of course then you could see Nicholas breaking down, recalling all this, and thinking that because all the strange noises he starts to hear, he thinks that maybe he did, you know, entombed his wife alive, and so actually the brother starts to have pity for them, for Nicholas. Okay, but then strange things starts to happen right after that, which I don't want to spoil the rest of the movie. Okay, because it's very interesting what happens after this, after that point in the movie. I just wanted to give you the setup. But Vincent Price is great as this tortured Nicholas Medina, who loved his wife and suffering, of course, with her death, and then he has to deal with his father's sadistic past, and of course dealing with the accusing brother, accusing him. And then of course that he has this doctor friend there who's trying to assure him that he's not, that he's not crazy and he didn't bury his wife alive. And it's just a really nice atmosphere. These Poe adaptations. And Richard Matheson adapted this Poe short story, expanded it, and it's really, really good. I really enjoyed this movie, Pit the Pendulum, one of my favorites. Okay, and like I said, Vincent Price just a great actor, commands the screen, and you feel sympathy for his character so much because you can tell that he loves his wife. They show it in flashbacks how he was devoted to his wife and how he's suffering now, and of course dealing with his father's tragic past, and just a really great performance for him, and also uh, John Kerr, who plays Frances Bernard, the sister of Elizabeth. Okay, and just a really good movie, and I'm going to give The Pit and the Pendulum an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it, and I highly recommend it. And I'll be watching more of these movies from the Vincent Price collection. So let me know what you think of The Pit and the Pendulum. I really enjoyed it, and I can't say more than enough for these Vincent Price collection. This one and this one. I'll probably be going through most of these movies during my Trepacer's Saturday horror reviews because I absolutely love Vincent Price and love these movies. What a great actor, great human being. Anyway, let me know what you think. Feel free to leave comments down below. This is Trepacer saying so long and take care.